we'll hook that.
Let's do this. Oh! Woo! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't realize how sick you are until you're not. That was so cool.
Melanie Moore spent 2 years so ill she couldn't drive. But today is so different, leaping and riding high over the trees.
In a wheelchair to ziplining and having fun.
It's the first check on her new bucket list.
Now that I'm getting to live again, I feel like I lost at least 10 years, so I'm back in my 30s again.
Valentine's Day is so busy at Flower Express.
Fold that up.
They have 30 drivers delivering for 2 days straight.
This is the absolute biggest holiday of the year for us.
So hearing their power was about to be cut off because of an overdue bill.
If you have any questions, just ask one of us.
For Carol Vance, well, that was unthinkable.
And I said, no, you can't do that.
The caller pretended he was from NES.
It was instrumental in that it was in the beginning of a whole era of country music. It ushered in what modern country music from Eddie Arnold, Dolly Parton, Waylon Jennings, and some of the big records that laid the foundation of our heritage.
Songwriter and producer Trey Bruce says the sound of Music City, blaring from the windows downtown and dominating top 40 country radio, owes a lot to a building in a much quieter part of the city.
First time I was in that building, I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
In the heart of Music Row, this is RCA Studio A.
The whole thing just seemed pretty unreal. All sorts of stuff just starts reminding me of him.
One of those things, this baseball field in White House. It's where 7-year-old Marcus Henry was known as number 30. During a game, third base was his place. So with candles in hand, friends, family, and Marcus's teammates prayed for the 14-year-old's recovery.
We pray specifically that Kelsey wakes up.
God takes care of those who are worthy.
Now this, 151 years later.
In Dixieland.
Civil War singers.
Ready, aim, fire.
Reenactors, widows, and just townsfolk, all saying, "You all matter. Thank you for your service. The war is over. We recognize your sacrifice."
The big picture sees that there were Americans North and Americans South who, for many various reasons, could not settle their problems peaceably. They resorted to war. They laid more than 600,000 of themselves in graves like this one here today. But they were Americans.
Come all the way on up here. We'll get everybody right around here to this side.
Oh, I think this is the most marvelous thing that ever happened to me.
On a cold, frosty morning in Franklin, a group of people got together to help these two special folks live a dream.
It's on my bucket list, you know.
Chick and Shirley bundled up, got some instructions.
This will be the front for the first half of the flight. We're going to spin the basket around.
And then we're off on a hot air balloon ride of a lifetime. Although it was cold on the ground, the heat from the flames keeping the balloon up in the air kept things nice and toasty while the group got a view of Williamson County they never thought they'd ever see, fall foliage in the autumn of their lives. Just couldn't get any better than this for the two who have already seen so much in their 90-plus years.
Places where the trees were was absolutely gorgeous.
For Billy Block, this show is not just about music. It's about life.
It's a very special night because we're celebrating something that is miraculous. I am cancer-free.
To help celebrate, his children and wife all took to the stage to make some music of their own.
I never completely gave up hopes. There was always a doubt in the back of my mind if they would find him.
I probably thought we would never know really what happened to him, but my mother never gave up hope that he would come home.
A quiet drizzle at Arlington Memorial Cemetery. Private First Class Cecil Harris is finally being laid to rest. 70 years after the last letters he wrote arrived home to Tennessee.
Hello, Mama. and I will drop you a few lines this lonely Christmas. Wanted to let you know I am okay and would like very much to be with you and all today.
It's called the Loop.
It's almost like a circuit.
Law enforcement says every city in the nation is part of one, the path where modern-day slaves are shipped. Our loop, according to investigators, is Memphis, Birmingham, Atlanta, and Nashville. And because the market is so crowded with human trafficking in Atlanta, sex slaves are being told this.
The trafficker said to them on the way here, "I'm taking you to Nashville because I'll make more money off of you there."
The TBI estimates in Davidson and Coffee counties alone, there have been more than 200 recent cases of minors being sold into sex slavery. But hearing about it is different than seeing it.
But today, that all changed when members of the 159th Combat Aviation Brigade and the 2nd Brigade Combat Team returned from their 9-month deployment. Nearly 200 servicemen and women made the long trek back from Afghanistan, stepping onto the tarmac at Fort Campbell to cheers and plenty of tears around noon today.
Oh, he's at the end. Oh, I see him now.
For Rebecca Urisic, just seeing her husband's face for the first time in months made the struggles all worthwhile. Soldiers marched into the hangar, and after a brief ceremony, the moment everyone was waiting for, the reunion. Hugs, cheers, and even some tears of joy.
It was what I've been waiting for the last 9 months since I left.
Perfect weather brought out the crowds for what many say is one of the best county fairs in the country. The Wilson County Fair began its 8-day run after setting attendance records last year.
Here's the windup, there's the mess.
589,000 visitors in all.
On your mark, get set, race it!
While the midway draws the masses, it's still about old-fashioned competition like the rodeo for others.
When I first started riding, I was 2.
From puppies to kittens to big dogs and little, there's a different kind of window shopping going on this Black Friday at the Nashville Humane Association.
We opened the doors a little early today because we had a line of people at the doors wanting to come in.
That is so sweet. They're offering one of the best Black Friday deals in town. Take home any animal with black fur, even a tiny black spot counts, for a reduced $45 adoption fee.
3, 2, 1, go.
Lake Park Elementary is the only school I know where skipping class really means skipping class. Jump rope team training 4 days a week, from first graders to 6th. Here it's the 4 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic, and rope.
Practice. It's the only way you can learn to do all these hard tricks is you have to practice.
How do you remember high school? It wasn't easy. Everyone fighting to find their place, their identity. For many, an unending competition for acceptance. But here at Lawrence County High School, when it came time to name a homecoming court, the kind of competition that defines the high school experience, there were surprises. The court included cheerleader Charity Foster, but it also included Sidney Jones.
I always say if you believe in ghosts, this is where they would be. If you think about why spirits remain behind, lives cut short often, and sometimes they just don't know they're dead.
Things go bump in the night, there's no doubt about that. When you consider what happens inside this house, on the property surrounding this house, I can't imagine anything more terrifying.
The Lotz House of Franklin was once a home to a German immigrant family searching for a simple life in the antebellum South, but instead found themselves in the middle of the Civil War. But according to some, something from a bygone era remains in the house and on those mist-covered battlefields 150 years after the Battle of Franklin.
Heart, soul, ground zero of the battle. It's the bloodiest 5 hours of the American Civil War.